Hi guys, welcome back, and it's test time again. Now don't get panicked, this is just something that we do just to make sure that you know that you've got this together in your head, okay? And obviously that's all that matters here. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to first of all just be putting the basic chords up there, and then it's your task to actually tell me what the formulas are for those chords, and then we'll do an example test of what you should be doing then to apply this. So for example, how to create an A dominant seventh or an A minor seventh, okay? So let's just go through this. First of all, here are the chords that I want you to work out, okay? So we're gonna be doing, and I'm gonna write them out in the shorthand in the way you'll see them on a chord chart. We want a major 7th chord. We then want a minor 7 chord, and I apologize for that. I'm gonna get rid of that straight away. That is so wrong. That's a combination of two elements. We only need the 7, not the th in the when we're doing it shorthand like this. So major 7, minor 7, and then dominant 7, which is just the 7th chord, okay? So pause the video, and that's your first task, guys. So can you get the right formulas for those? Okay, so pause it now. I'm going to carry on, obviously, as we go, otherwise that's weird. So, major 7. I'm assuming you've been able to get it together. Let's have a little look. Major is pretty easy, to be honest, guys. It's just always numbers without sharps or flats. So we know the major chord is a 1, a 3, and a 5, and we simply do as it's instructed in the actual chord and add a 7. Okay, and just on a quick side note on this, that is really good advice generally for chord construction. Typically, once you're past this kind of 7th area, this is going to tell you everything you need to know about what the chord construction is going to be. So you might come across chords that say something like minor 7 flat 5, for example. Well, that is basically an instruction, isn't it? You do a minor 7th chord with a flat 5 in it. And you're going to see that more and more as you advance in chord progression. So it's not like by the end of all of this, you're going to have 50 different formulas just swirling around in your head and you just choose one or the other. There's only a couple of base ones that we're going through, and then things start to become a bit common sense after that, okay? Anyway, we digress. Let's come back. So minor 7th chord, okay? Hopefully you work that one out. We've got root, flat 3rd, because it makes it minor, and 5. And then possibly the only tricky bit about this is remembering that the 7 is flattened, okay? So if you've got those 4 like that, that's correct, and that's a minor 7th chord. Now let's look at the 7th, so the dominant 7th chord. Remember, dominant 7th is predominantly a major chord, so 1, 3, and 5, but it's also got minor elements with the flat 7. I guess is a good way of remembering it. So that is your dominant 7th chord, okay? So congratulations, guys, if you were able to just remember those, okay? It really shows that you're starting to get the understanding of this and that you're putting the time into learning it. Now, let's have a little look at actually working out some chords. So this is just the formulas. Let's do it with an actual couple of chords. So I'll just pop a little line down the middle here. And again, we're going to kind of go from ground up on this just to make sure you understand the process, okay? So what I want to learn to play here, and I want you guys to be playing it, is going to be, we're going to do a B major 7th chord, okay? So I choose B because it's deliberately a little bit tricky when it comes to the scale, okay? So here we go. You ready to work out the B scale, B major scale? We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 again, okay? Now, the B major scale, let's just start with B, right? So, remember our formula thing, we're gonna go a tone up from there, right? So I'm just switching back and forth between a huge amount of colors here. Make it nice and pretty for you. So, there's the B. Tone up from the B will be C sharp, okay? Everyone agree with that, hopefully? So 2 frets up is a tone. Then we apply the formula again, so we've got another tone here, okay? Which from C sharp is D sharp, okay? Now, we're gonna go a semitone up from this point, okay? You know, if you're good at this already and you really just get this bit, just whiz through it fast, okay? I will kind of speed up as we go. So a semitone up from D sharp is E, okay? And now we should all know that then it's a tone from the 4 to the 5, okay? And a tone up from E is F sharp, okay? Now we're going to go another tone up from 5 to 6, and a tone up from F sharp is G sharp. Okay, so you can start to see why this one's a little trickier. Lots of sharps, basically. Now, we're going to go up another tone from G sharp to A sharp, okay? Hopefully you're with me on this. And then it will be a semitone back to B. So I just kind of put that one in there quickly there. So you always know you've got it right if you've started and ended on the same note. If you ended there on a C instead of a B, you know you've gone wrong somewhere. Okay, now we were looking to do a B major 7. Okay, so let's now write B major 7. So we're looking for a B maj 7. Okay, what does it equal? So we apply our formula at this point. Okay, so our formula is 1, 3, 5, 7, and therefore we would have a B, a D sharp, an F sharp with the 5, and the 7 is an A sharp. Okay, and there we have it. If you put those 4 notes on the guitar, you get yourself a B major 7. Simple as that. So how does that process feel for you guys? Is it something that makes sense? You can see again, I do it long-handedly because I'm showing you the steps. But in an ideal world, you just know the scale. You just know the major scale, okay? And secondly, you know, you'd know the formula, so you wouldn't have to have that there as well, okay? So what we'll do is we'll do one more, and then I'll leave you guys to kind of test yourself, okay, which I think is always a good idea. And this time, let's do a different kind of chord, shall we? Let's do a G7 chord, okay? So again, first thing we're going to need to do is work out the G major scale, okay? So I'm going to do this one quicker this time, okay? So, but again, you'd write out the numbers, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1 again, and then you do your tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone to give you this result, okay? G, A, B, C, we're going to try D, E, F sharp, and back to G again, okay? Now, that essentially, if you did apply this formula, is exactly what you'd get, okay? Here it is, me showing you how much quicker it is when you just know the scales, okay? So let's go through this then. So we said that we wanted a G7, a G dominant 7, which looks like that, okay? So what does that mean? What do we get? Well, the G dominant 7th is 1, 3, 5. So we can take the G, we can take the B, and we can take the D. That's the 1, the 3, and the 5, okay? Now, instead of taking the 7, we take the flattened 7. So instead of F sharp, we've got F, okay? And that gives us a G dominant 7, okay? You put that on the guitar, you'll hear that, okay? So, how does that all work for you? Again, I would highly recommend going away and testing yourself. Try and do an A minor 7, a C sharp 7, and so on and so forth, and just keep pushing yourself so that this sinks in. And I think repetition is the key thing here, okay? It's like learning any scale shape or chord on the guitar. It's just a mental repetition, writing this out as many times as you need until you can just do it super fast.